This study was conducted by a research team from Eastern Samar State University, Canavid campus. So crime remains one of the most persistent challenges to a nation's social fabric and development. In the Philippines, achieving inclusive growth is closely tied to maintaining peace and order. So our research looks specifically at Eastern Samar, where reported crimes rose from 824 cases in 2013 to 1,481 in 2021. A trend that motivated us to look closer who is being detained and for what. So briefly, our research team is composed from faculty and former lecturers from the College of Criminal Justice Education at ISU Canavid. With their background knowledge on criminology, jail management, and research methodology, it formed a research from the ground up. So let me give you the number at a glance. So we surveyed 110 person deprived of liberties or PDLs from 3 BGMP facilities. The sample was overwhelmingly male, which consists of 91% of the entire respondents, and then with the largest age group falling from 30 and 39 years old. In terms of charges, we have the top offense, which is murder, which is composed of 29%, followed by rape at 15.5% and robbery at 13.6%. So here's an important nuance. When we run chi-square test to check whether age, education, and occupation were statistically linked to the two type of crime charge, we found no statistically significant relationship. So let me walk through to the background objective exam methodology. So as I mentioned, Eastern Samar reported crime volume nearly doubled in 2013 and 2021. This study is grounded in two criminological theories, the routine activity theory and rational choice theory, which both can explain how daily circumstances and perceived opportunity can shape criminal behavior. So our objectives here is to first profile the PDLs and identify the most common charges against them. Second is to test whether the socio-demographic profile is statistically linked to the type of crime committed, and third, to assist PDLs on perception of existing crime prevention. So what we did, as I said, we surveyed 110 PDLs from 3 BGMP facilities in Eastern Samar using stratified random sampling. Our instrument was expert validated for content and achieved a Cronbach alpha of 0.85, indicating strong internal consistency. Data were analyzed using descriptive statistics and chi-square test of independence. So in conclusion, we have three key findings here. So the first key finding is that violent crime dominates the charge profile. The murder and rape together account third of all cases, followed by property and environmental crimes, which is sample of robbery, theft, and illegal logging, which form a meaningful of secondary cluster pointing to economic drivers behind offending. And then the last key findings that we have that I want to emphasize that despite descriptive patterns suggesting links between age, education, occupation, and crime type, in our study, in our sample, none of these associations reach statistical significance. The effect sizes were small to moderate, meaning these factors may still hold practical relevance. But where our current sample, we cannot statistically confirm them. In simple terms, this tells us that crime among PDLs in Eastern Samar cannot be explained by demographic profiling alone. The drivers are likely more complex, and possibly rooted in broader structural and economic conditions. So based on the key findings, here are our recommendations: age-tailored interventions, vocational and livelihood programs, and stronger environmental protection. And this is for our appendices. Summarize appendices, rather. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Okay, so Mr. Warren, my question is, you have found out that there's no statistically relevance of the demographic profile when it comes to committing crime among your respondents. However, and I also understand that you have mentioned recommendations, like for example, age-related interventions. But specifically, how can your findings help the local authorities develop more effective crime prevention? So does your school have any programs that could actually answer or address this problem? Because the statistics is actually alarming, especially murder is top of the most committed crime. So do you have any specific programs?
So, for that, ma'am, one of the programs that we have is to propose this to the LGUs and propose this for the local government unit and especially to the BGMP, ma'am. So, aside from the murder, ma'am, also we would like to address the illegal logging, ma'am, because it is one of none of the, ma'am, pero one of the crimes committed here, speaking sustainability. And what we would like to suggest by conducting extension activities is what we want to suggest to these agencies is to have an integrated livelihood program prior to their pre-release before reintegrating them to the community. And also, ma'am, so one of our in regarding to the addressing the murder, ma'am, what we would like to say is, ma'am, that one of the effective program that we want to see is to inculcate moral or value programs in the BGMP, so there will be no recidivism or reincarnation to be prevented at the future, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your research is actually close to my heart because I'm a proponent of the college education behind bars in Technology State University. So you might as well want to look at that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sir Warren Cabangon, for that presentation. We now proceed to Charlene Radislao on work-life balance, trust in management, and self-efficacy as predictors of job satisfaction and retention, intention of contract of service employees at Aklan State University.
Hello. Okay, go. So good afternoon once again, distinguished conference chair, respected researchers, educators, and ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to present our study entitled Work-Life Balance, Trust in Management, and Self-Efficacy as Predictors of Job Satisfaction and Retention Intention of Contract of Service Employees at Aklan State University. So before discussing our study, allow me to briefly introduce ourselves. I am Charlene Radislao, currently serving as an instructor of the College of Teacher Education of Aklan State University. And my research interest focuses on educational leadership, organizational behavior, employee well-being, and institutional development. I am privileged to work alongside my co-author, Dr. Manuel O. Malonicio, who serves as Professor 6 and the Director of the International Affairs Office of Aklan State University. So our shared commitment to improving higher education inspired the study, particularly in addressing the unique experiences of the contract of service employees. So let us now begin to understand why this topic deserves an attention. Around the world, contract employment continues to increase. Current reports estimate that more than 1.4 billion individuals work under non-permanent employment arrangement. While this workforce provides organization with flexibility, it also presents significant challenges. Research consistently shows that contract employees experience higher turnover rates, lower organizational engagement, and less employment security compared with permanent employees. So in the Philippine state universities and colleges, contract of service employees have become indispensable. They support instruction, research, administration, and extension services. Yet, despite their vital role, relatively few studies have examined the factors influencing their intention to remain in the organization. That's why this research attempts to address that gap. So addressing the broader context naturally lead us to the specific problem that motivated this study. So the employment turnover is not simply a staffing concern. Every resignation represents the loss of institutional knowledge, additional recruitment cost, and disruption in organizational productivity. So for universities like Aklan State University that rely on the contract of service personnel, these consequences become even more significant. So existing employee retention theories have largely been developed using the permanent employees. Thus, consequently, university administrators often lack the evidence-based guidance for improving retention among contractual personnel. So for our conceptual framework, this slide illustrates the theoretical model that guided our study. We proposed the 3 independent variables: the work-life balance, the trust in management, and self-efficacy that would influence the employee's job satisfaction. So in turn, job satisfaction was expected to predict retention intention. So for our research objective and methodology, our study have 5 objectives. First, we describe the demographic characteristics of our contract of service employees. Secondly, we measured their perception regarding work-life balance, the trust in management, self-efficacy, job satisfaction, and retention intention. And then third, we examined the predictive relationship among these variables. Fourth, we identified the strongest predictors of employee retention. And finally, we translated these findings into practical recommendation for our university administrators. So methodologically, this study employed a quantitative non-experimental design using the structural equation modeling. So we surveyed 129 contract of service employees representing all 5 campuses of Aklan State University. So again, the participants. All right. So I will proceed to the key findings. Okay. Moving beyond the descriptive statistics, structural equation model allows us to identify the relationship among variables. So trust in management positively influence job satisfaction. Likewise, employees with stronger self-efficacy reported greater job satisfaction. And most importantly, job satisfaction emerged as the strongest direct predictor of retention intention. We also found that work-life balance did not directly influence employees' intention to stay. Instead, its effect occurred indirectly through job satisfaction. This suggests that maintaining work-life balance enhanced satisfaction, which subsequently strengthened employee retention.
We'll now
And
proceed with the
that's all.
question answer po.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Charlene. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Um,
ma'am.
That was a very comprehensive discussion. However, while you were discussing, I was thinking that retention is commonly discussed in relation to permanent employees, right? So I'm
Yes, ma'am.
actually wondering the reason why you studied COS or contract of services, given that the nature of their job is really temporary. So what gap of a research would you like to fill in? Bakit kayo nag-focus sa COS?
Personally, ma'am, it is close to my heart because I was once a contract of service employee in Aklan State University before I move on to DepEd and come back to Aklan State University. So it just so happened that I felt that there's a need, especially in our department and the College of Teacher Education, because almost every semester I noticed that there's newly hired, and then eventually the following semester they're all gone. And so I believe that the continuation or the direct movement of how knowledge should be for our students would not be disrupted just because these contract of service come and go. So that's also in our recommendation. We try to take into consideration how our administration would be able to come up with a solution, or maybe things that could manage about this problem as to our contract of service. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Nawala na yung agam-agam ko. Bakit COS? Kasi usually, those positions are easily filled up. Kaya I was wondering. So with having said that, ma'am, what specific programs are you recommending for the administration of Aklan State University to adopt?
Based on our findings, we have here that in our human resource office, they should provide at least mentoring programs, professional development opportunities, and also flexible work arrangement and recognition system that could tailor specifically to our contract of service for them to maybe at least stay for a longer time. So that's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Charlene. Congratulations. And we'll now proceed to the next. May we call in Mr. Gerald L. Casabar in the paper entitled Project Management Practices in Land Development Projects in Alvera, Porac, Pampanga, a phenomenological study.
Hello. Okay. To the organizers, respected chairs, and all of the attendees, good afternoon. Today, I will be presenting my research study entitled Project Management Practices in Land Development Projects in Alvera, Porac, Pampanga, a phenomenological study. And I am Engineer Gerald L. Casabar, together with my advisor, Dr. Philip P. Ermita. So, next. So, skipping this biography now, I will proceed to directly to the research. Ayan. So, yeah, this study examined the project management practices in land development projects in Alvera, Porac, Pampanga. Maybe someone will ask, what is Alvera? So Alvera is a mixed-use urban design estate living in urban nature land development projects wherein, have you heard about BGC and Taguig? Have you heard about Ayala in Makati, Nuvali and Santa Rosa? For context, Alvera is a joint venture of Ayala Land Inc. and Leonio Land Holdings Incorporated. We have a residential development such as Ayala Land Premier, Alveo Land, Amaya, and we have also a commercial development such as driving range, and also industrial development such as Badan, Mondenisin, also institutional development such as Miriam College at Alvera, LaSalle Botanical Garden, and recreational development as well, Sandbox, W Camp, and bike trails. So for the statement of the problem, this study investigated how project management influences the different stages of project, from planning, construction, execution to the completion, as well as the overall performance of land development projects in Alvera. It specifically answered the following research question in terms of planning, cost, quality, risk management, and recommendation and reflection. So for the methodology, this research methodology used a phenomenological design for a qualitative research design through a semi-structured interview with 15 respondents. And the data were analyzed through a thematic analysis. So for the sources of data, as you can see, it's shown on the below, yun nga, on the professional position and then the years of experience of the respondents. For summary, the 7 major themes revealed that effective project management practices contribute to successful implementation out of direct land development project, specifically for the following themes, which is professional profile, real-world experiences, cost, strategic planning, QA/QC, risk, and recommendation. Actually, during one of my respondents' interview, the respondents asked me a question. He then asked, engineer, how about without an engineer? A foreman can do or build construct a house. I was like, what? I was the one being interviewed, but you're asking me a question. So anyway, my answer is yes, definitely a foreman can build a house. But are you sure that it can be a cost efficient? It can be a plan to achieve the schedule. It can be a quality or the approved standards. So yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. But then again, I asked him another question. So how about a large-scale land development projects just like in Alvera? Do you think a foreman alone can manage it? The answer is no. Because, by the way, I'm not against a foreman. In fact, my father is a foreman. I have a great respect to them, no? But when it comes to large-scale land development projects in Alvera, we as project management professionals can help to ensure a better cost-efficient, achieve a required timeline, and maintain the required standard quality without sacrificing one another. So yeah, actually, even some business owners hire professionals to handle their business developments. We, as project management professionals, can also provide that kind of value. So going back to this study, Alvera, so yeah, going back to the study, in Alvera kasi there is a dedicated project management on site. That's why one of my interview question asked, if there were no dedicated project management on site, what would be the result? So interestingly, all of the respondents identified similar risks. So the possibility of cost overruns, the possibility of the schedule might not achieve, and the possibility of maintaining and monitoring the quality standards would be more difficult. Therefore, this study confirms that the coordinated project management practices significantly improve the coordination, the overall project success in large-scale land development projects. And again, thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Engineer. We may all agree that in terms of project management and land development, established na yon. So my question now is, what will justify your conduct of a phenomenological studies? What are the gaps that should not have been answered by merely conducting a quantitative study? So what were the gaps that you were trying to fill in, and were you able to extract yung mga insights and issues that could not have been revealed through a quantitative study?
Maybe one further, thank you, Ms. Karen. Maybe for the further recommendations, actually most of the respondents were only professionals. It came from clients, contractors, it came from proponents, but I didn't pinpoint the exact workers wherein, such as foreman, to conduct the interview. So because of that, further recommendation to the study would become interestingly kung we can incorporate that to the professionals and the non-professionals. Ayun po, ma'am, Ms. Karen.
Yes, that's the limitation of your study, but what I'm asking for is, what gap are you trying to fill in conducting this study? Ano yung gusto mong patunayan, malaman, bakit mo siya kinandak?
Actually po, Alvera Porac, Pampanga currently have a project management on site. But interestingly, wala pa pong study on that. And also, we didn't highlight the Ayala Land Inc. and the Leonia Land Corporation. Some of the management have on the review of related literatures have context on the management lang po, but not specifically on Porac, Pampanga. Thank you po. Thank you, Ms. Karen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Casabar, for that interesting paper. So we'll move on with our technical session 3 on engineering. Also would like to thank our session chair and evaluator, Ms. Karen Razel Duyan of Aklan State University. Thank you, ma'am. And for technical session 3, our session chair and evaluator is Dr. Florante D. Pozo, Associate Professor of Polytechnic University of the Philippines. We call in our first presenter, Mr. Eric Matthew Senerpida, on the paper, The Influence of Technology Adoption on the Level of Financial Literacy Among 4Ps Beneficiaries in One Municipality of Misamis Oriental.
To our conference organizers, distinguished researchers, and educators and participants around the world, maayad haal daw kaninyo alan, good day to each and everyone. I am Eric Matthew L. Senerpida from Bukidnon State University, Alubihid campus, and I'm honored to present to you my study, The Influence of Technology Adoption on the Level of Financial Literacy Among 4Ps Beneficiaries. When we talk about financial literacy, we are talking about practical information like how do people make decisions about their money. And for families, every peso has a purpose for transportation, for education, or even household needs. But when we look about this picture, is this familiar? So, familiar ba kayo sa tong its? So, sometimes, this is usually seen on the mothers after receiving their benefits. So, other their benefits. So when we look on that, the budget has a plan, but their money has with different plan. So this means that that simple reality reminds us that financial literacy is not about knowing what to do with our money, but it is how to do or how to make actual financial decisions. And today, those decisions are increasingly connected with technology, with online payments and online transactions. So our study talks about or asks about, does the technology adoption help people make a better and informed financial decisions? So now let's dive into our key findings. First, the overall level of technology adoption was low, with a mean of 2.21. The respondents may have access to technology and use it relatively frequently, but their adoption remains limited in terms of digital skills, support, openness to innovation. In other words, they have the tools, but they do not yet have the full capacity to maximize it. Second, the level of financial literacy is also low with a mean of 2.11. This result suggests that the respondents may face challenges not only in the access and use of technology, but also developing the knowledge, attitudes, and behavior necessary for sound financial decision-making. Then we ask the most important question of this study: does technology adoption significantly influence financial literacy? So the regression analysis revealed that there is a positive and statistically significant predictive relationship. So this implies that improving technology and adoption may provide an important pathway for strengthening financial literacy among 4Ps beneficiaries. Based on the findings, the study suggests to implement the Digital Bayanihan. So it is a proposed 6-month community-based extension project for Bukidnon State University Alubihit campus designed to address the study's findings of low technology adoption and low financial literacy among 4Ps beneficiaries. So we will forge partnership with the DSWD, LGU, financial institution, it can be cooperative or banks, and participating barangays, with a target of 104 beneficiaries and an estimated budget of 165,000. So let's go back to the conference title, Sustainability, Innovation, and Future Technology. So technology is not transformative simply because it is available. Technology becomes truly transformative when we empower people, because the future of technology should not be measured not only by our advanced technology tools, but how many people we are able to bring forward. So that is the future we are going to build. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Sir Sinorpida. So thank you for the presentation. I'm just wondering, the technology being mentioned in your paper, what specific technology is that?
Technology adoption, like access to tools using online transactions, digital payments, like that.
Would you think the 4-piece beneficiary can easily understand or easily adopt the technology that being proposed?
Based on the survey conducted, sir, it found out that they have this tools, but they cannot maximize it, or they have limited knowledge to use it. So therefore, we have suggested that we will undergo an empowerment or training session to maximize the usage and access of that tools.
Okay, thank you. So good luck with that project, hoping that it will really help our 4Ps beneficiary.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Senorpida, for your timely and relevant study. We now proceed with our next presenter. May we call in Luciania Luis Fagela on the paper An XGBoost X AI model for landslide susceptibility prediction using geospatial data in Benguet province.
To esteemed chairs, distinguished delegates, and fellow researchers, na imbag nga malem kada kayo amin, we are honored to stand before you here in Boracay at the 3rd ICSIFT conference. Today, our team from the University of the Cordilleras will present our research, an XGBoost XAI model for landslide susceptibility prediction using geospatial data in Benguet province. On behalf of my co-authors, Clarice J. Grace, Marie Fiona Velasquez, June Russell Clemente, our advisor, Dr. Joanne Peralta, and yours truly, Lucy Fajela, we want to take you 400 kilometers north, away from the coast and into the rugged highlands of northern Luzon. Benguet is a province of breathtaking beauty, but it is also a province in mourning. Just this August, the rains we all know too soon turned the world into a weapon. In Baguio and surrounding areas, landslides claimed the lives of 10 of our countrymen in a single weekend. 3 families shattered because the lands beneath them gave away. This isn't just numbers, it is a recurring tragedy. Benguet has the highest landslide risk in the Philippines. Why? Because of its rugged terrain, its steep slopes, and its fragile soil. But there is another factor, human activity. As we build, as we expand, we change the geomechanics of our land. Our study isn't just about machine learning. It is about making sure that the next August morning is not a headline of loss. Traditional hazard maps shows where danger might happen, but it fails to explain why. Understanding the why allows engineers to design targeted interventions. To solve this, our study couples XGBoost and explainable AI to merge high predictive accuracy with actionable transparency. But how does it work? We combined ensemble power with SHAP's interpretability across 4 pillars: data preparation, predictive modeling, refinement, and validation. Instead of arbitrary pixel grids, we grouped terrain into geomorphological slope units. We engineered topographic, hydrological, and land use features, corrected for class imbalance, and applied spatial cross-validation to prevent data leakage. Collinearity tests showed mean annual rainfall, or MAR, and mean annual maximum rainfall, or MAMR, are perfectly collinear. We dropped MAR and retained MAMR because slopes fail from sudden pore water pressure spikes in extreme events and not from uniform yearly drizzle. While XGBoost calculates the susceptibility probability, SHAP breaks down the exact feature contributions globally and locally. Globally, high slope angles, peak rainfall, and row proximity sharply elevate risk. Locally, SHAP waterfall plots reveal the positive and negative forces driving the risk score for any specific slope unit. In conclusion, by adding this layer of explainability, we empower our engineers and urban planners. We give them the evidence to say that we should not build here or we must reinforce this specific activity in a specific area. Here is the final province-wide susceptibility map. Sustainable development is impossible if infrastructure is washed away each monsoon. This map gives regional planners the spatial foresight needed for safe zoning. Look at, sorry. Look at this slope unit flagged as very high susceptibility. Instead of just giving us where, the model reveals the exact triggers, dominated by rainfall intensity and slope steepness. They are the same conditions we saw in the Gizad Surong landslide last August. Heavy rainfall meeting steep terrain, turning a vulnerable slope into a real danger for the people living around it. By replacing black box opacity with interpretable machine learning, we empower our mountain communities to build resilient and life-saving infrastructure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fahela, no, for that very technical presentation, especially those of the different maps that you have shown. My question here is, knowing that we have already the model in terms of predicting the susceptibility of landslide in that area, in your team, what is your proposed strategy in terms of how we are going to implement those in the project implementation? Will in fact, we have limited power as we are only educators or we are from the academe.
Um, um, this study was inspired because Baguio has this initiative of being a smart city. So as we make our technology, we must also look at different angles, and we must propose this to government officials po and our engineers, urban planners po, to further improve the initiative of being a smart city po, and this is one of the ways we can do it po.
So meaning it has already reached to the level of the government, like the legislative body or the executive body of Baguio City, knowing that although Namria has also this kind of maps, but this is very good because it is very specific to that of your area in Baguio.
No po, it hasn't reached the government officials po, since it's still a proposal that we are still improving po. But as we progress with this research, we want to be able to propose it and to present it to our engineers po.
Okay, thank you. And good luck because we need this kind of output that will really help the government in solving such kind of engineering problems. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you, Ms. Fagela. I agree with our evaluator, Dr. Florante Pozo. Good luck in your proposal. So we'll proceed with our next presenter. May we call in Marife A. Escalao, who will be joining us virtually. On her paper, Behavioral Lens, Artificial Intelligence Multimodal Machine Learning-Based Behavioral Assessment System for Learner Readiness Prediction.
Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Please allow me to share the screen of Dr. Maripe Escala.
Once again, may we call in Marife A. Escalao, Madam? Okay. Ma'am, you are not audible po. Okay. It's a video presentation. Sir, can you play again?
Okay, good afternoon, researchers, educators, leaders, technologists, and scientists. I am Dr. Marifembat Escalao. I am affiliated with DepEd Central Office, Bureau of Education Assessment under Educational Research Division. This research is my capstone project in MIT DST at Laguna State Polytechnic University with Dr. Jefferson Larios, presenting to you the AI innovation entitled Behavioral Lens Artificial Intelligence Multimodal Machine Learning-Based Behavioral Assessment System for Learner Readiness Predictions. The persistence challenges reflected in the low performance of Filipino learners in national and international assessment have inspired the development of this innovation. As education is a fundamental pillar of development of society, this study supports the Sustainable Development Goal, particularly targets 4.1, 4.5, and 4.4. Traditional assessment system primarily emphasize examination outcomes, providing limited insight into learners' cognitive, emotional, or behavioral conditions. The proposed system architecture represent an integrated intelligence assessment ecosystem that combines artificial intelligence or AI, computer vision, behavioral analytics, and Internet of Things, enable data acquisition to support learner evaluation and readiness predictions before the assessment so that the teacher could make an individualistic intervention program. The architecture consists of four primary layers: the data collection and preparation layer, the model development and the training layer, the live exam session layer, and the integration and output layer, forming an end-to-end behavioral intelligence pipeline. The project development, training, validation, integration, and for independent AI behavioral models like FER, AR, blink analysis, gaze tracking, and hand movement detection. These behavioral indicators were selected based on the relevance of behavioral computing, cognitive engagement, and intelligent monitoring system. These models were designed to capture multimodal behavioral patterns associated with learner cognitive, emotional, and behavioral states during examination session. The result demonstrated a progressive improvement in predictive performance as additional behavior modalities were integrated. The single model approach achieved 85.20% accuracy to 96.50 with the four model fusion. The finding further indicated that behavioral findings, stress indicators, and academic performance represent independent behavioral dimension, highlight the importance of applying multimodal psychometric analytics rather than relying exclusively on examination correctness or academic performance metrics. The results demonstrate that AI-driven multimodal behavioral analytics can provide a scalable, intelligent, and ethically guided approach to learner readiness assessment. This innovation project demonstrated the potential of integrating AI's computer vision, machine learning, IoT-enabled data acquisition, and multi-behavioral fusion to support real-time learner assessment. Innovation may contribute to the development of adaptive educational interventions, intelligent online examination systems, early learner support mechanism, and data-driven educational decision-making. particularly in contexts where conventional assessment and approaches provide limited information about learner behavioral and readiness condition. So here are my references. That's the end of my presentation. Once again, I'm Dr. Marifa Escala presenting to you this research, Behavioral Lens, Artificial Intelligence, Multimodal Machine Learning-Based Behavioral Assessment System for Learner Readiness Prediction. Shukran katir and daghang salamat po.
Thank you very much, Dr. Iscalao, for that very nice presentation. And it really admires everyone that such kind of study that pertains to our learners in terms of checking the level of readiness, which is actually at present being part of the current issues that we are facing. Here's my question regarding your paper. If the system is already in place, how can you convince other teachers to utilize your proposed system, knowing the fact that we still have current issues and concerns in terms of the use of AI, particularly on the ethics side?
Yes, good afternoon. Am I audible, Doc?
Yes, audible naman.
Yes po. Yes po. Good morning. This is a pilot study, and I got a memorandum order from the Ed Central Office where I work also. So this is also only in the pilot study since we have a problem with infrastructure and technology and in acceptance in AI. However, this is a good one because we can run through this one. And we run this one in one SDO and SDO Cabuyao. And we're planning to propose this one by region. And let's see what's going to happen next after this one. So we're really looking into it. And actually, we just wait the presentation here before we give the final paper to the DepEd Central Office to be shared in ICSIFT po. We know it's really difficult because this is a pilot study and it's really also difficult because I use 4 models and AI, computer vision, IoT, and behavioral. I have 3 psychometrician who also consulted for the behavior to be entered in the AI algorithm po. Thank you, Doc.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Iscalao.
Thank you, Doc. Sorry, I'm in the class. I just got some time from my student. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Escalao, for that another interesting paper. Congratulations. We'll now proceed to our next presenter. May we call in Benjamin Lozada Cornelio. This paper is Smart AI-powered POS for efficient inventory, sales, and queue management with QR-based ordering architecture for MSMES. Sir?
Good afternoon, everyone. Small and medium enterprises play a vital role in the Philippine economy, most especially those businesses located in the rural or provinces area. And these businesses still rely on manual calculation, manual monitoring. And that is the reason why we come up with this research, which is a smart AI POS system. I know you will say that it's very common, but this one addresses and has a feature of QR management and forecasting as well. So artificial intelligence is really important and vital nowadays. We are using it every day. But most of the latest and latest trends of artificial intelligence are being utilized in modern cities, big universities. However, we tend to neglect these communities that is located in the remote or provinces area. That's the reason why we come up with this AI POS system. This is a functional POS system with a practical use of artificial intelligence in the province or remote areas. The objective includes to automate inventory and sales. Customers can use kiosks, same in McDonald's or Jollibee maybe, and then they can use QR code at the same time. You can put that on a table. And then, of course, monitoring of sales, data analytics, and forecasting, of course, of the sales. And those are the main objectives of my studies. And for the development, we use prototyping. Respondents includes the local students or the communities as well, local businesses in the provinces. And instruments includes for the evaluation, which is the ISO, and of course for the evaluation of the forecasting, accuracy and reliability as well, also applies. And to develop this one, it combines with different languages like Python and infrastructures as well. This is the conceptual framework, and this is the system layout. It can be customized. If the customer don't want the QR code, don't want the kiosk, but only wants the sales, that's okay. And we applied this and did pilot testing in different small businesses, and pizza, coffee shop, and small grocery, and grilled restaurant as well. And for forecasting models, these are the forecasting models that we use: the linear regression, random forest, the ARIMA, and the naive forest. And this is actually the process and how do we come up with the solutions of the algorithm to make sure that it's accurate or it's reliable. So we get the mean absolute error, the root mean square error, mean absolute percentage error. And for the store one, it shows that the most effective algorithm is actually the ARIMA. And it shows for the daily sales forecast and monthly sales forecast as well. And for the store tool, that's going to be for linear regression. That is the most effective algorithm. And for the store 3, it's a combination of ARIMA and linear algorithm. So this is actually the result, as you can see. And for the evaluation for ISO, it shows that on all criteria, it is actually excellent. And for the system presentation, I know this is somehow like a simple application. Can we play? I still have how many minutes? But that is the interface. You can actually see that you can see the different inventories, the number of products. You can click on the products, and then you can order, and then you can pay cash maybe. You can use GCash at the same time. And then for the QR code, you will see there, it can generate QR code that the customer can scan through, and they can order on the table. And then the admin can actually see the order spending. And then it can print receipt for 2 copies for chef maybe if there is, and for the cashier. So 4.9, as I mentioned, for the ISO, it has an excellent evaluation. And below 19% for the error, for the mean absolute error. That means that most likely 80% for the accuracy and reliability. And for recommendation, we need to integrate more machine learning and test more to different stores. I know that this algorithm only applicable to that kind of store, and it depends also. So this is actually one of the store, which is a coffee shop. He sell cakes also, he sell coffee, and it is being implemented. And this is another store. He sell actually pizza, juices, and everything. There's the printer and there's the receipt copy also. And this one, it sells milk tea, and she uses like her phone to process the order as well. And it actually, win a paper award during the presentation. I'd like to share this with you. I hope that when we try to create like a technology or an innovation, let's not forget the people who are actually not in the cities. Let's include them. And that's the reason why we integrate innovation in technology and governance as well. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Cornelio, for that very detailed discussion of the technology that you are being proposed. Based on the evaluation result, that is excellent in numbers, what is the implementation status of this proposed QR-based system, and how many MSMEs are utilizing this system? Are you planning to sell it or just give it for free to the MSMEs in your area?
Thank you for that question. I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, if we're gonna do it on extension, I think it's gonna be free. But if we're gonna do it like a type of maybe a monetary, maybe in exchange of goods, and that's what we did. We created a MOA, and so far we have 3, and as of the moment we have 12 pending SMEs that is connected with us. We did a demo already. And yeah, we are doing MOA, and they will agree whether they will support the school, because I am actually located in the province area. I'm teaching there as a computer science. So we need resources also in our school. So we have limited resources in terms of computers also. So that is the status of our system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just a piece of advice in terms of this kind of research, that you have an output, you have always to protect your intellectual property rights.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank
Okay,
you.
so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cornelio. Congratulations. And we'll proceed to our next presenter. May we call in Janet F. Arquero in her paper IoT-based energy detection system.
Hello. Hey, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janet F. Arquero from Central Philippine State University, Hinigaran Campus, Negros Occidental. By the way, I am a faculty member of the College of Computer Studies, and I am honored to present and share my research entitled IoT-based energy detection system. Okay, so CPSU, like any other SUCs in the country, is also facing an increase of power consumption and increase of power rate charge by electric companies. The university president produced a memorandum order number 300 series 2018 instructing all offices and campuses of the university to observe the energy saving by participating in the Earth Hour campaign. Earth Hour is a worldwide environmental movement that encourages people to get more engaged in the struggle against the effects of climate change by turning off their lights for 1 hour. A daily standing policy that air conditioning unit must not be open earlier than 9 o'clock in the morning and will be closed no later than 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All electricity consuming devices and facilities must be switched off when the offices are closed. Also, this policy is often ignored, especially by the staff, because of their work and needs. The security staff reminds them often to observe energy. There are cases also where some appliances and ICT equipment are left on during the night. Security personnel keep visiting offices to check if the equipment is neglected to switch off. Thus, therefore, the interest of this project is to design and construct an IoT-based energy detection system which allows the management personnel to monitor the classrooms and offices to see if there are devices left on to minimize the power consumption and lower energy costs. The project can remotely monitor functional appliances or devices in real time via a wireless network system through a dashboard installed in mobile phones. The goal of this project is to develop an IoT-based energy detection system at Central Philippine State University, Hinigaran Campus. Specifically, it aims to develop a system that will monitor active appliances, ICT equipment, and other devices on the campus premises, provide real-time display of all appliances, ICT equipment, and other devices and their location on campus. control the lights and outlets by connecting and or disconnecting them from the circuit breaker sub-panel using a relay module. Determine the quality of the developed system based on the ISO IEC 2510 system and software quality requirements and evaluation quality model, and to determine the usability of the proposed system in terms of usefulness, satisfaction, ease of use, and learning. For the materials and method, researchers apply a descriptive development approach. So this methodology's fundamental steps include describing, constructing, analyzing, interpreting previously collected data, which is the hard study of formulating, implementing, and expertly inspecting teaching methods, procedures, programs, and items that must be confirmed by the standard or guidelines. The study used a model that would help the development be successful so that the user would accept the project. So this project used V model, and it is the block diagram consisting of lines and arrows to specify the connections of component parts and modules that determine the principles of a system operation. The project is divided into two basic parts, the user interface and the internal circuit controls, with the user interface starting from the main utility power source or 220 volts alternative current as commonly found in office utility grid outlets, and using a 12 volts direct current power converter to step down the voltage required by internal circuits as is set by its design voltage. Moreover, controls transmit data to the program controls or microcontroller module and display in the web-based application. Furthermore, the SCT-013 current sensor detects a signal needed by the microcontroller for the further signal it sends to the server. The solid-state relay takes action by switching on the off, connect or disconnect the alternative current from the circuit breaker to the outlet and lights. This is the internal circuit component connections of devices, providing a more detailed overview of interconnection of parts in the created projects. And this is the application use. This is also the actual design of the prototype, which includes electronics and electrical devices. For the software requirements, to develop code and upload it, the microcontroller board utilize the free and open source Arduino software or IDE. The sensors and other modules that are linked to the Arduino can be easily programmed using the software. It is also an open source and cross-platform web server package called XAMPP.
Thank
So-
you, ma'am. We'll proceed with the
Thank you so
question
much.
and answer.
Thank you, Miss Janet. I have here two questions. I'll just have it, parang i-consolidate ko na lang, no? How will you address the poor internet connectivity when it comes to the IoT application? Then, since it's a very nice system, no? How can other institutions replicate your system, or would you allow the replication of such system?
Thank you for that question, sirs. Yes, I will allow the replicating of the use of for the improvement of this system. For the issue of the internet connection, maybe it could be improved to use also in local, or what we call this, offline, if ever.
How about the issue on the poor internet connectivity here in the Philippines, knowing that you are going to apply the Internet of Things system?
I will put that on the recommendations, sir, since I haven't experienced yet the issue on the internet connection using this kind of application and device.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, sir.
Thank you again, Ms. Janet Arquero, for sharing your work. Now, we proceed to our next presenter. May we call in Mr. Ryan J. A. Gino in his paper Germination IQ, IoT-based system for real-time germination forecasting. He'll be joining us virtually.
Hello, good afternoon. Wait for a while. All right, am I audible po?
Suppose, sir. Yes, suppose, sir.
Wait for a while. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ryan J. Hinuhino, and I'm here to present my MIT thesis project, Germination IQ, IoT-based system for real-time germination forecasting. For my background, currently I hold the Master in Information Technology, major in Digital Technology, and a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Currently, I'm working at Trace College under College of Computer Studies. My interests were artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, computer vision, ERP solutions for business. And then for the abstract, for the study, I developed a germination IQ, an IoT-based system for monitoring, forecasting the germination of basil seeds. The system uses environmental sensors such as the DHT22 and AHT10 for real-time data collection. I use YOLO to detect germination of seeds, as well as random forests for forecasting germination, specifically binary classification using random forests. For the result, I have here, for germination rate, 78.57. Out of 70 seeds for 3 experiments, I gathered, actually for each experiment, it's more than 50 germinated seeds. And then for detection of accuracy, it's 88.62. Detection for germinated and non-germinated. And then for forecasting using binary classification, random forest, it's 84.21. But during the time that I sent this research, it's only 4 days. So I just completed the remaining days. It's actually 74% for the completed cycle of forecasting. For the statement of the problem, germination is highly affected by changes in temperature and humidity. We all know that because of climate change. The problem with traditional germination method is that they usually rely on manual monitoring, scheduling of watering, and because of these abrupt changes in environment, this can directly affect the seed germination. Therefore, this study identified the need for a system that can monitor the environmental condition in real time and then detect germination using artificial intelligence, and then it can actually regulate the environment using a different scenario. For my objectives, hardware and environmental monitoring, I have already designed this, implement the components, and then for web-based application, it's all done. And then I use artificial intelligence, YOLO 8, and random forest for forecasting. And then for system effectiveness, I employ the ISO 25010 evaluation and TAM technology acceptance model. For research methodology, I employ a iterative development model as well as data collection, classification, random forest model, automated environment control, and then system evaluation. Actually, it's experimental and iterative development model since I actually do the experiment. Next, this is my actual prototype this is the acrylic germination incubator chamber. This acrylic germination incubator chamber developed as a part of the germination IQ system. So this chamber contains sensors for getting the temperature and humidity inside the incubator. It has a light on top of the incubator. It also has a heat pad as well as the sprinkler inside. These components allow the system to monitor and control the germination condition of basil seeds in real time. Next is my water tank. The water tank serves as the water supply and distribution component of germination IQ. It consists of humidifiers. It consists of floaters, inside 2 floaters, humidifiers, two humidifiers, 2 floaters for backup, and tube going to the sprinkler for water supply. Next is data collection, environment data acquisition subsystem. So it actually gathered the temperature, humidity for continuous sensor data collection for sending to the database, basically. And then this is my control and automation subsystem. This one is I think this is the brain of the control system of the automation for the scenario intervention. Like for example, if the temperature is high, there is an intervention for that. If the temperature is low, there is a specified intervention for that, as well as humidity high, humidity low. I have specified for intervention to control the environment.
Thank you, sir.
And then this is an example.
We'll now proceed with our question and answer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gino for presenting that very highly technical output of yours in terms of germination. My question is actually not that of the output itself, but knowing that based on your findings, the forecasting model has been proven effective at a very high level. But how can you convince the basil farmers to use your technology? And what strategies would you propose that the forecasting system will be understood in the layman's level?
Thank you for that wonderful question, sir. Basically, the purpose of this study is for the farmers. But right now, because of the when you call what you call this, the high price of this project, I think it's not doable for farmers. It's basically for commercial institution. That can be targeted. Sure.
Okay, I see. Because I'm thinking of, because you are also using the IoT, so now I understand.
Yes, sir.
That it will be for commercial
But it's
purposes.
not practical, sir, for small farmers, sir.
Yeah, I understand. Because if it will be for the farmers, definitely in the farm, mostly internet connection, no? If you're going to use IoT again, it's very difficult.
That is one of the problems.
Thank you, Mr. Gino.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Gino. We hope to see you sometime personally. Okay, so we'd like to remind the few presenters left that the presentation shall take place in 6 minutes, and you have 2 minutes for the question and answer. And if in case of virtual presentation, make sure that the presentations are audible and visible as well. Now let us proceed with our next presenter. May we call in Randolph M. Balieras in the paper entitled A Predictive Learning Analytics Platform with Instructional Intelligence for Monitoring Student Performance Patterns. Sir?
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Randolph Balieras, together with my co-authors from Kolehiyo ng Lungsod ng Dasmariñas. Our study focuses on a simple but important questions. Can we reliably identify students who may need academic support before they fall behind? To answer this, We developed and rigorously tested a predictive learning analytics platform. And let me first give you the main idea of the study. So this study developed, validated, and deployed IASPA, a predictive learning analytics platform for monitoring students' performance patterns. We compared 6 classification models using the same dataset and the same evaluation protocol. The surprising result was that NAE-based emerged as the champion. But why was this comparison necessary in the first place? IASPA was designed to help teachers identify students who may be at risk early enough for intervention. However, previous implementations often use a classifier simply because it is familiar or convenient. That created our research gap. We should not assume that one model is the best without comparing it with alternatives. So this study tests that assumption using a controlled and reproducible approach. From that gap, we defined 4 specific problems to address. So this slide summarizes the main gaps identified and how this study addresses each gap. First, because there was no evidence that the platform's classifiers was the most appropriate, we benchmarked 6 machine learning models using one consistent protocol and a fixed selection rule. Second, we strengthened the evaluation through appropriate inferential statistics tests, while also validating usability, performance, and scalability through actual user testing and system testing. Now, these activities were then integrated into one overall research. So this study follows an input-process-output framework. The input is an authenticated student dataset and evaluation protocol. The process includes pre-processing, training the 6 classifiers, comparing the performance, and selecting the champion based on a rule established before seeing the results. The output is validated predictions that reaches the teacher through the recommendation tab, where the system provides both the risk flag and its reason. Now, let me briefly explain how this study was conducted. The study employs a design and development research. We used 151 student records with 8 predictors and 6 classifiers were evaluated. The data were divided using a stratified 70-30 split with additional stratified 5-fold cross-validation. We also examined statistical significance, system performance, usability, and scalability. With the same protocol applied to all models, we can now look at the results. So the first important thing is that BASE achieved the highest result across the key measures shown here. MCC was chosen because it looks at all 4 outcomes. With all 3 statistical tests returning p-value of 0.13 or higher, the win is too close to all statistically proven. But choosing the model was only part of the questions. We also needed to know whether the system itself was ready for use. So the system showed strong evidence of deployability. For performance, 11 of 12, ISO 25010 metrics were supported. For usability, 20 evaluators rated excellent. For scalability, the system supported for 250 concurrent users. We used triangulation. Finding specifically compares performance testing against the task completion results within UAT. So together, these 4 contributions mean this study is not simply a prediction model, but a tested platform, a reasonable evaluation process, and real change in how teachers can act on the data. So based on the evidence, we recommend deploying BASE at the validated 0.5 threshold while retaining random forest and logistic regression as documented baselines. We also recommend fixing the 2 identified usability gaps, particularly the discoverability of the synchronization icon. And this leads to the main message that I would like to leave with you. The main lesson of this study is simple. Model complexity should earn by the data, and we should not assume that the most complex or popular model will always perform best. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balieras. And thank you also for that wonderful presentation in terms of prediction modeling. So knowing the fact that when it comes to prediction modeling, we just rely it on the past records, and we will be training those data to come up with the model. And having your findings in which the performance patterns is of very high in terms of correlation and statistical result based on the past records of students, what do you think are the limitations of your study that you really wanted to have it improve in the next stage, that you fear that it may actually negatively affect the result if the model is being applied on the next batch of students?
Actually, the data set, sir, we have only 151 records. And my recommendation is actually to benchmark annually, because data could come differently. So it could change the result. Because as of now, the ranking would be name-based. That's the champion as of now. But if you can see the results, there's only a minimal range between the other model. So even though we tested it statistically, there were 4 statistical analyses, but then again, we could not say that it is significantly tested. Actually, the result is non-significant. It's because the value of the p-value is actually higher than 0.05. So that's why one of my recommendation is to re-benchmark the data.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you again, Mr. Balieras, for a very relevant paper. We look forward that one of these days we can use your research output in practice. Thank you. And we'll proceed with our next presenter. Will be joining us virtually, Mr. Archer S. Nakua, in his paper, Resource Allocation, Nursing Staff Services, and Patient Quality Care Satisfaction. Sir?
May hapon sa tanan. May hapon sa tanan. Please, I'm sharing my screen. Is it already visible?
Yes, sir. You may start, sir.
Right. Okay, once again, good afternoon, everyone. I am Archer S. Nakwa from the College of Nursing Graduate Studies of Liceo de Cagayan University. It is a privilege to present my study entitled Resource Allocation, Nursing Staff Services, and Patient Quality Care Satisfaction. When patients say they are satisfied with their care, what actually shapes that satisfaction? That important question inspired this study. By way of a brief introduction, I am a healthcare professional currently serving at Northeastern Misamis General Hospital in Misamis Oriental. I'm pursuing a Master of Arts in Nursing at Liceo de Cagayan University. My research focuses on understanding how healthcare systems and nursing services can contribute to more responsive and patient-centered. The study examined three major areas: resource allocation, nursing staff services, and patient quality care satisfaction. A quantitative, descriptive, correlational, and predictive design was used. The participants were 400 adult inpatients from four infirmary hospitals in Quezon, Bukidnon. Data were collected using a 55-item modified and expert-validated questionnaire, which demonstrated a good reliability with a Kronzbach alpha of 0.89. Rather than simply asking whether patients were satisfied, the study went one step further. We examined whether their experience of hospital resources and nursing staff services was actually related to and could predict their overall satisfaction with care. That distinction became very important when we analyzed the findings. Why focus on rural infirmary hospitals? Much of the available evidence on patient satisfaction comes from larger or tertiary healthcare institutions. However, small rural hospitals operate under very different realities. They may work with fewer diagnostic resources, smaller healthcare teams, and greater dependence on careful coordination of available services. In this study, resource allocation included the availability and functionality of equipment and supplies, balancing supply and demand, and strategic planning. Nursing staff services, on the other hand, included staffing adequacy, clinical expertise, and work attitude. These were treated as the independent variables, while patient quality care satisfaction served as the outcome. So essentially, we wanted to know, do better resources and better nursing services necessarily translate into higher overall patient satisfaction? Let me briefly highlight the methodology. Data collection was conducted in December 2025 after the necessary academic endorsement, ethical clearance, and hospital permission has been secured. Eligible, eligible adult inpatients completed the questionnaire in approximately 10 to 15 minutes. For the statistical analysis, mean and standard deviation were used to describe the variables. Spearman's rule was used to examine relationship, while multiple linear regression was used to determine whether resource allocation and nursing staff services could predict patient satisfaction. Statistical significance was evaluated at the point zero level. And now let us look at what the patients actually told us. This slide presents one of the most encouraging parts of the study. Across all three major variables, patients gave high ratings. First, resource allocation received an overall mean of 4.15. Second, nursing staff services obtained the highest overall mean at 4.23. And third, patient quality care satisfaction was also high with a mean of 4.0. So descriptively, the picture was very positive. Patients generally perceived that hospital resources were available and functional. They also viewed nurses as sufficiently available, clinically competent, and capable of providing dependable care. Most importantly, patients reported high satisfaction with the quality of care they received. At this point, we might naturally expect that better ratings for resources and nursing services would correspond to higher levels of overall satisfaction. But this is where the study became more interesting because when we examined statistical relationships, the results told a different story. Resource allocation showed a very weak and non-significant relationship with patient satisfaction with a Spearman's rule of 0.042 and a p-value of 0.398. Nursing staff services also showed a very weak and non-significant relationship with a rho of 0.058 and a p-value of 0.246. The regression model was also non-significant, statistically not significant, with an f-value of 0.759 and p-value of 0.469 and an r-squared of 0.062. In practical terms, the model explained only about 6.2% of the variation in
Thank you, sir,
patient
very much.
satisfaction.
We shall now proceed with the question and answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sadikon, for the presentation. It's very nice to hear that you have that kind of revalidation after knowing the result, using the different statistical tools. Because I agree that the questionnaire itself does not give you the final answer or conclusion. Okay, so my question is here. Although the patients, no, yung ratings nung sa questionnaire mo, it was actually very high, satisfactory. I want to focus on your team's recommendation. What can you propose, or what is being proposed, in the paper in terms of improving the quality of hospitals, especially in the rural setting?
Um, thank you, Doc, for that questions. Or hospital administrators should continue, especially in the rural health settings, should continue maintaining equipment, supplies, staffing, and clinical competence, but quality improvement should extend beyond these areas. Hospitals, infirmary hospitals also in the rural setting also need stronger patient experience systems that monitor communication, responsiveness, care coordination, family involvement, comfort, discharge readiness, and patient feedback. That's all, Doc.
Okay, thank you. I hope those proposals that you had mentioned be part of the recommendation, and in the next phase of your research that would be included to make it more comprehensive in looking at the satisfactory level of the quality care of our rural hospitals. Thank you, Mr. Sadikon.
What?
Actually, it's Mr. Nakwa, Doc. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir, Mr. Nakua. Indeed, patient quality care satisfaction is the heart of healthcare. Now, we proceed to our next presenter. May we call in Mr. Arvin M. Sadikon, who will be joining us virtually in his paper, A Computer Vision-Based Decision Framework for River Waste Collection. Sir, are you with us?
Yes po, good afternoon po. So good afternoon po. My capstone project po entitled A Computer Vision-Based Decision Framework for River Waste Collection. So before I continue my discussion po, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Arvin M. Sadikon, LPT MIT, ICT Program Head at SK College Calamba, a licensed professional teacher. My MIT degree, I took it at Laguna State Polytechnic University, and my bachelor's degree, BSIT, I took it at STI College Calamba. So, for the abstract of the study, so river pollution caused by floating solid waste, significant environmental and public health challenges, particularly in urban waterways. To address this issue, this study developed a computer vision-based river monitoring and waste management that integrates the Internet of Things, cloud computing, and real-time image processing technologies. The solar-powered system is designed to detect, classify, and provide decision support for the efficient collection of floating waste in rivers. The object detection model was developed using ULO V11, a real-time computer vision algorithm optimized for object detection, and implemented through the Ultralytics framework in a Visual Studio environment. A Raspberry Pi served as the edge computing device for image processing and sensor integration, while cloud-based MariaDB-based facilitated data storage, synchronization, and retrieval. For experimental results showed that the object detection model achieved a precision of 96.7%, 91.9% for the recall, 89.3% for F1 score, and 94.7% for MAP at 50, demonstrating high detection accuracy and reliability. The developed system was further evaluated using ISO IEC 25010 software quality model through a questionnaire administered to purposely selected respondents. The evaluation yielded an overall weighted mean score of 3.81, indicating a high level of acceptability in terms of functional suitability, performance, efficiency, and compatibility, usability, and safety. The finding demonstrates that the proposed system is an effective and reliable solution for river waste monitoring and collection support. By enabling the timely detection and classification of floating waste, the system provides decision support for environmental agencies and local government units in optimizing water collection operation, improving river maintenance strategies, and promoting sustainable water resource management. And the following are the keywords. For the project description, so plastic and mixed solid waste leakage into river system is a major global environmental and public health concern. This was mentioned in the study of Adwana et al. 2025. The United Nations Environment Program 2026 estimates that 19 to 23 million tons of plastic enter aquatic ecosystem annually, contributing to habitat degradation and reduced ecological resilience. River serves as the primary pathways of land-based plastic to oceans, transporting about 0.8 to 2.7 million tons each year, as mentioned in RICHI 2021. So in the Philippines, 466 rivers are identified as major source of plastic leakage. Number one po is in the Philippines, Pasig River has been repeatedly described as the most plastic polluted river globally, underscoring the persistent systematic weakness in water waste leakage control and watershed governance. This was mentioned by Senate Economic Planning Office 2024. Beyond the plastic pollution, environmental investigations of Laguna de Bay is the tributaries document the persistent presence of fecal contaminants and other emerging pollutants driven by domestic waterways, discharge, and agro-industrial activities, with pollutant loads increasing notably during the wet season due to amplified runoff. So in the barangay San Juan, Calamba City, Laguna, there is still a lot of floating trash in the river. This happens because people still checking the river manually, and there are no real-time monitoring system, and there are not enough tools to predict or respond to the build-up of waste. Meanwhile, advances in computer vision technologies, particularly real-time object detection models such as YOLO family, offer promising application for environmental monitoring, enabling automated detection, classification, and quantifying floating debris. Despite these technologies' advances, no existing system in the barangay or city level integrates computer vision, based detection, and structured decision support framework, and proactive evidence based on the river waste collection strategies. The reason why computer vision-based decision framework for river waste collection is an integrated system designed to support sustainable water waste management through automated waste detection, classification, monitoring, and data visualization. This system utilizes image processing, computer vision techniques to detect and identify floating waste in the rivers. So classifying waste as biodegradable and non-biodegradable. It is equipped with a cloud-based data management system for reliable storage and synchronized data. So these are the actual
Thank you,
picture of
sir.
my
Thank you,
system.
sir. We'll proceed with our question and answer po.
Okay po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sadikon, no, for that very nice presentation, especially that it concerns about environmental issues that we face at present. My first question is that, was your framework tested in an actual scene of a certain river?
Yes po, sir. It was tested po during my final defense po.
So it is not just purely questionnaire-based validation.
Yes po. It's
Okay.
actual po.
Okay, so when you are going to propose, no, for example, you will be asked to present sa Senate or sa Congress in terms of the findings that you have. What measures would you propose to them na para mai-implement in terms of solving problems as regards to river pollution?
So actually, my project po was tested during my final defense, and it's really to collect those garbage, especially in the middle of the river, yung mga hindi po kaya maabot ng tao. And it is also facilitated or controlled with remote control po.
Okay, so sige, thank you very much, Mr. Sadikon.
Thank you. Just hold on as we only have 3 more presenters. So we'll proceed with our next presenter. May we call in Ms. Milagros Baruga, which will be joining us virtually to present her paper on ethics and policy challenges in the digitization of cultural heritage. Ma'am, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. Am I coming in clear?
Yes po.
Okay, please allow me to share my screen. Can you see my screen already, ma'am?
Yes po.
Okay.
Ma'am, nawala po yung screen mo po.
Wait, ma'am, wait. Okay. How about that, ma'am?
Yeah, visible po. You may start po.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Milagros Baruga from Mariano Marcos State University in Region 1, Philippines. I'm pleased to present our paper entitled Ethics and Policy Challenges in Digitization of Cultural Heritage. This paper examines an important question arising from digital transformation. That is, as technology gives us greater capacity to preserve and share cultural heritage, how do we ensure that we do so ethically and responsibly? The QR code in this slide provides direct access to our published article. And to briefly situate my perspective in this interdisciplinary work, let me first introduce myself or my professional background. I am an IT educator and researcher with interest in technology management, cybersecurity governance, information systems, and digital transformation. My contribution to this work particularly relates to the governance dimension of technology, including how digital systems can be adopted while addressing issues of ownership, security, responsible access, and sustainability. So with that perspective, let us now look at the central concern that motivated our study. Cultural heritage digitization has become an important strategy for preserving artifacts, manuscripts, artworks, historical records, and intangible traditions. Technologies such as 3D scanning, AI, digital archives, and cloud storage make preservation more efficient while also expanding access for researchers, educators, and the general public. However, digitization also introduces difficult questions. For example, who owns the digital representation of cultural heritage? Who decides what may be shared? And how should culturally sensitive and indigenous knowledge be protected? The paper therefore looks beyond the technological benefits and examines the ethical, legal, policy, and governance responsibilities associated with digitization. The study employed a narrative conceptual review in which relevant literature was compared and synthesized according to recurring issues pertinent to responsible digital heritage preservation. So we reviewed the literature and first identified recurring issues and ideas related to digitization, preservation, access, ethics, policy, and sustainability. Then group related issues into broader themes. Then finally, these themes were translated into major elements of the conceptual framework, showing how technological, ethical, legal, community, and sustainability considerations interact in a responsible digital heritage preservation. So the first framework brings these themes together and show why digitization must be viewed as more than a purely technical undertaking. At the center of this framework is cultural heritage digitization, which covers both tangible heritage and intangible heritage. Tangible heritage includes artifacts, manuscripts, monuments, and artworks, while intangible heritage may include traditions, oral histories, languages, and cultural practices. So around these are major ethical concerns, including ownership and intellectual property, cultural sensitivity and representation, and community consent. These are further influenced by legal policy considerations, including copyright, heritage protection, data security, and institutional governance. So the framework therefore emphasizes that digitization cannot be separated from questions of rights, responsibility, and governance. So, but before we focus further on these challenges, it is important also to recognize why, in the first place, institutions continue to invest in digitization. So, um, the answer is not necessarily. This framework highlights three requirements. Let me get back to my slide. Okay, so digitization offers three major benefits. We have preservation, accessibility, and efficiency. Digital copies can reduce dependence on fragile originals and provide alternative records when physical heritage is threatened by deterioration, disaster, conflict, and inevitable loss of this heritage. Digital platforms allows users or researchers, educators, students, and the general public to access cultural resources regardless of their location. So there are technologies that are used for this purpose, like 3D scanning, AI, digital repositories, and cloud storage that will expand both the preservation and the educational value of this cultural heritage.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am Milagros.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We'll proceed with
Okay, may I?
our question and answer.
Thank
Yes.
you very much, Ma'am Baruga.
Yes, sir.
So we all know that digitalization is actually good as it is actually part of the trend in terms of innovation nowadays. Now, so here's
Yes,
my
sir.
question. In terms of the intellectual property rights issues on
Mm-mm.
digitalization, what recommendation and proposed strategies your team may recommend, especially in protecting the rights of the indigenous people?
Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, sir, that is actually a very, very important issue and concern when it comes to the rampant digitization or the translation of um, um, heritage materials into digitized format. Sometimes the acquisition, or I mean the collection of all of these, are also not including the communities where this heritage emanates from. So as part of the implications and recommendations of our studies, um, it is important for us to involve the communities who are producing this heritage when it comes to digitization of this and preservation of these materials. In the context of the Philippines, sir, although there are already initiatives and there are laws that are uh, protecting our indigenous communities, there are still some recommended adaptation that we may incorporate in our systems. For example, we adapt co-governance with our peoples or elders or local historians so that they will have a say on how these artifacts can be shared or can be distributed across across other avenues using the digitized format, where it's very easy now to access and share these resources. But if we pair digitization with these policies and the um, recognition and acknowledgement of the um, inclusive to our um, origin or where these artifacts originated, will be able to have an equitable digitization mechanisms.
Okay,
We
thank
need to
you, Ma'am
involve them.
Milagros, for your
Yes,
answer.
sir.
Okay, so I guess we're down with our last three presenters. Thank you, Ma'am Milagros Baruga. And now we'll proceed with our next presenter. May we call in Lawrence Chua Salazar to present his paper on uncertainty aware, decision-driven methane risk forecasting for air quality monitoring, a system. He'll be joining us virtually. Hello, Sir Lawrence. So we'll proceed with our next presenter. Maybe he's having technical problems. May we call in Mr. Marlon S. Alejos on his paper, Influence of Continuous Illumination at Increasing Light Intensities on the Growth and Survival of Early-Stage Snub-Nosed Pompano, Trachinotus blochii. Sir? Sir, you may start, Mr. Alejos. Mr. Alejos, you are not audible po. Sir, nakamute po kayo. Please turn on your microphone.
Saglit lang.
Okay po, sige.
Saglit lang po, saglit.
Mr. Alejos, you only have 2 minutes to present po.
Okay, so I think your time is up, Mr. Alejos. Can you still hear me or Okay na tayo doon. Siguro may technical problem.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
So I think that would be our last presenter as he was having a technical problem. Now, I believe we have come to our conclusion of this two-day conference. But before that, may we call in our organizer, Dr. Priyanka, to give a momentum. Okay, to present the plaque of recognition appreciation to our organizers. And we'll call on our facilitate, our So we'll give this plaque of appreciation to our conference chair, given this 22nd of August, Boracay, Philippines. We call in Dr. Wilson Cordova, Associate Professor, Professorial Lecturer of this De La Salle University, Philippines. Sir? Another plaque is presented to Dr. Florante D. Pozo Jr. Sir? Same plaque is given to Dr. Karen Razel M. Duyan, Associate Professor 5 of Aklan State University, Philippines. Same plaque is given to Dr. Jeronimo A. Eliado, Campus Administrator, Eastern Samar State University, Canavid Campus, Philippines. Same plaque is given to Professor Malika Ilupa, Associate Dean, Sulu State University, Philippines. Okay, another plaque of recognition is given to Dr. Rania D. Abduraoub, Assistant Professor, Sulu State University, Philippines. Same plaque is given to Dr. Presida Asid Daud, RN Man, PhD, Associate Professor, Salud State University, Philippines. Same plaque is given to Professor Malika Ilupa, Associate Dean, Sulu State University, Philippines.
Okay, so another plaque of recognition to Dr. Sher Habi Baybayan, the conference co-chair.
We'd also like to present this plaque to our partner organizers and school state universities. We'd like to give this to Aklan State University, Philippines as co-organizer. Same plaque of recognition is given to Iloilo State University of Fisheries Science and Technology, Philippines as co-organizer. Same plaque of recognition is given to Polytechnic University of the Philippines as co-organizer. Same plaque of recognition is given to Sulu State University, Philippines as co-organizer. May we call on Dr. Abdurraup to receive the plaque. Okay, now we are down to our to present the best or to award the best paper for day 1. May we call in our evaluators, Dr. Karin and Dr. Florendo, please. This goes to
This paper yesterday and today.
okay.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and this is the most awaited part. For day 1, our best presenter goes to Hassani Ilyas Zeta for the paper Judicial Commissions of Inquiry and Their Impact in Deconstructing Public Procurement Dilemma in South Africa. Congratulations, sir. Okay, for day 1, best paper goes to the paper of Adsmir El Anji, Neural Cry Smart Infant Cry Reason Display with on-device machine learning.
So I have the honor to announce the best paper, or the best presenter rather, for day 2. An XGBoost XAI model for landslide susceptibility prediction using geospatial data in Benguet Province by Miss Lucy Ania Luis Fagelia. Congratulations. Congratulations. And for the best paper goes to Thermal Performance and Drying Evaluation of a CFD Optimized Biomass-Fired Fish Dryer for various fish products by Ms. Monalyn L. Oloroso. Congratulations, ma'am. Any representative?
Okay, there you have it. Congratulations to the winners of the best paper and best paper presenters. Congratulations. Now, we are down to our closing up ceremony. Okay, may we call in our organizer, Madam Priyanka Saho. Give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to see you all here during this 2 days of conference. And I feel great privilege to be a part of this conference with you all, in fact. And I hope this conference made your evening and the 2 days as well, because this is the platform where you guys have got a chance to showcase your research papers, right? And I don't have nothing more much to say because I don't want to take much time. It's already evening and time to enjoy the Boracay Island, I think. So thank you so much, everyone, to join us. And see you in our next conferences as well.
Thank you, Ma'am Priyanka. So, guys, that concludes our 2-day conference. But before you go, we'd like to invite all of you to take a photo opportunity. So I think it would be by school, university, for the photo operations. Okay. So, by university. So I'd like to call in the most populated one, Sulu State University first. Sulu State University, faculty and students, please. After Sulu State University, we have the Aklan State University, then Iloilo State University of Fisheries Science and Technology, then followed by Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Eastern Samar State University Can-Avid Campus, and Sultan Kudarat State University, and the rest of the presenters and attendees. Okay, please remain organizers as you take picture with Aklan State University. Please prepare Iloilo State University of Fisheries Science and Technology. Oh, yeah. This, sure. Okay, next we have Iloilo State University. Picturean mo naman si sir. Kanina pa nagpipicture. Sige. Sige, sir. Sige. Kamay pa talaga ako. Sige po. Okay. Apo. Okay. Mag-join na po yung tag-isa lang po. Okay? So, you may go na. Ay. So, yan. Saan yung Polytechnic? Polytechnic? Okay, the next is Polytechnic po. After nila po. Kasi isa-isa sila na representative sa school nila. Sige. Okay. Polytechnic po. Polytechnic po. Mag-isa lang. University of the Collet. Okay. Sige po. Sa Can-Avid Campus po. Ano? Okay. Ikaw na. SP. Tapos, tatapos na sir. Okay. Sige po. Ang galing. Okay, so insert natin yung tag-isa lang ang representative sa school nila po. Bukidnon State. Bukidnon State. Mag-isa pa lang. Palawan State. Okay. Okay. Ano po? LSPU. LSPU po. University of the Cordilleras. Next po is Palawan State U. Palawan State U po. Saan ang Eastern Samar po? Tapos na?
Already na kami.
Ano?
Kolehiyo ng Lungsod ng Dasmariñas.
Kolehiyo ng Lungsod ng Dasmariñas. Yes.
Madam, what school are you from? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have our delegates from University of Limpopo and University of Venda. After them. Okay. So next, sir. Okay, ready na ba yung nasa Eastern po? Tapos na kanina, Eastern Samar. Yung Sultan Kudarat po. Sultan Kudarat. State U. Wimsu po, next. Wemsu, then MSU po. Wemsu. Okay, okay. Okay na. Okay. Okay. So, akad na po yun. Ito na po. Okay, and then we have our last one from MSU. RTU. Okay, meron pa pala. RTU po. RTU. Sorry po. RTU. Another last, we have RTU. Meron po bang hindi natawag for the photo opportunity? Meron pong hindi natawag for the photo opportunity po? Anong school po? Okay po, Sultan Kudarat after ni na ma'am. Okay, we have Sultan Kudarat. May ibang school po na hindi tawag. Okay. Okay, everyone enjoy. So we have our last one photo opportunity from Sultan Kudarat po. Meron po pa hindi natawag kayo? Okay, and I think the mixed method. Mixed method university. They represent each of their university. Last one. Meron po pa na hindi natawag? Wala na? Si Sir. Done. Okay na po. Okay. Good luck, everyone. Hope to see you in the future events organized by ICSIFT and ZEP Research. Thank you very much.